your wife melt. Beer drinking, this whiskey chugging, this podcast. We just sit back and laugh and tell. Yeah, they got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold with a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go. The cage match, it's on now. When I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold to the hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul Era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. Ted DiBiase, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to the latest episode of Boot to the Face here on YouTube Live, as we talk everything in the world of professional wrestling. I'm Chris Rucker along with my co-host EJ Reed, and we are fresh on the road to WrestleMania season. We had a little bit of a vacation, but we are back. EJ, how the hell you doing?
Man, I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I like the shirt. What is that?
Yeah.
Who makes that shirt?
I have no clue. I think I got it on Pro Wrestling Tees like 2 years ago or so now.
Oh man, if Big E ain't getting any kind of residuals off of that, I'd be pissed if I was him. I mean, he's doing well, I'm guessing, but still.
Yeah. I would hope that he trademarked it, but by the looks of the shirt, I don't think so.
Speaking of shirts, let me go ahead and get into this real quick. WrestleMania is coming up. We just talked about that. I now have the giveaway for WrestleMania T-shirt week that I'll announce. I guess I can announce the giveaway now. I have some kind of way I ordered 2 of the Sting Ripper AEW figures where he was dressed up like the Ripper in Over for All In. I have 2 of those. One of them is fresh, unopened box. That'll be a part of the giveaway. I might throw something else in there, but as everybody that does WrestleMania T-shirt week knows, from the Monday leading up to Mania to the Sunday going, you can post as many pictures in a wrestling T-shirt as you want, tag us in it, use the hashtag WrestleMania T-shirt week. Please use the right hashtag, because people were using it last year that weren't, and they were like, I don't know if I'm in it or not. And I'm like, well, you got the wrong fucking hashtag. What am I supposed to scour the internet for every goddamn wrestling T-shirt? But yeah, that's exciting. That's always fun to see the wrestling community actually be positive for a change the week leading up to WrestleMania. So that'll be more to come with that in the next couple weeks. But yeah, other than that, man, how the hell you doing? How's your week?
Same old, man. I should be asking you, how's the past week and a half been like for you, jet setting?
Man, I tell you what, jet lag is real. I will say that. Like, I've never had to deal with it before. I've traveled to the West Coast and been okay. I mean, that's only 3 hours, right? But traveling 14 hours into the future and then 14 hours into the past when you come home, it's been fucking rough. I haven't had a day yet since I've been back that I haven't napped. And Tokyo itself was fun, though. It was I got sick like 2 or 3 days into it, so that was no bueno. But other than that, man, I rode a bullet train for the first time. What's up?
What kind of sickness did you have?
I just had a real bad cold, a fever, everything. Like, at one point I woke up in the middle of the night like 4 or 5 times, bro, and I was covered in sweat. Like, and I wasn't hot. I was freezing cold. So that's fun too, trying to be in another country where not many people speak English and trying to go to a pharmacy and get the correct like Dayquil type medicine, which they don't have the same like meth and shit that we do in their medicines. So, but more people. My takeaways from Tokyo: more people over there speak English than you thought when you went over there. It's a lot easier to navigate and find your way around than you would have thought. Way cleaner, Shout out to the British Amazon, Heidi Katrina. She told me years ago about the toilet situation in Tokyo, and God damn it, she was right. I have never had a cleaner ass in my life. Like, no matter where you went, you could go to a little coffee shop, EJ, and if they have a bathroom, that you walk in, the toilet lid lifts up for you when the lighting changes in there. Everybody's got a bidet. Everybody's got a heated toilet. Everybody's got like self-cleaning. Like, they're just very clean people over there. No trash on the streets. No, I don't know how they did. Maybe they hid all the homeless people when the tourists come in. I don't know. There's no homeless people walking around. And one thing that was really refreshing was people just kept to themselves in public. There's no like loud fucking outbursts or anything like that you would see here in America. You know, we took public transit a lot. We took the subway. You ride the subway anywhere in America, as much as we did, and try not to see just somebody on there losing their fucking mind. These people just mind their business. They get on the subway, they sit in their little seat, they stand where they're going to stand. They got their faces planted in their phones, and then they get off on their stop. Nobody bothers anybody. It was very refreshing. The food situation, I'm not a big experimental person with the food, but my girlfriend did. She had like fried octopus balls and actual sushi.
Actually pretty interesting.
Man, let me tell you. So we went there, and I was already not feeling good because I had gotten sick. And she's like, I'm going to try them. And you would think a fried octopus ball, like, you think fried, you think it's going to be hard. And it looked hard. It looked like a hush puppy almost, right? She grabbed them chopsticks and picked that thing up, man. That thing, under the chopsticks, it just collapsed, and juice started coming out of it. And I could smell it. Oh, and then when she was chewing it, you could hear it, like, moving around in her mouth, and I'm not moving around because it's alive, but just, you know, it's a fucking octopus. Like, I don't know. It was not my vibe at all. But she loved it.
They tasted.
She said they were good. She said they were interesting. She thought they'd be same thing I was just saying. She said she thought it'd be a little harder because it was fried, but she ate. They gave her 4 of them. She ate 3 of them. Now I had ramen. She had sushi. We did the 7-Eleven thing a lot, which was crazy. And, you know, we were both looking over our credit card statement when we got back, and we're sitting there adding everything up on what we spent. And we didn't spend nearly as much money as we thought we did. I mean, obviously, you know, the yen, the American dollars is a little different, but we didn't, like, skimp on anything. We just did what we thought would be fun, and you wanted to grab some drinks, you grabbed some drinks. You wanted to eat, you ate. And we got back, and it's like, oh, shit, I spent like half of what I thought I spent. So it's nowhere near as I mean, it could have been more expensive, but it's nowhere near as expensive as you think it is. The plane ticket getting over there is expensive, but once you get there, it's pretty good. And we stayed in Tokyo for about 3 nights, jumped on a bullet train, and went to Osaka. We stayed in a traditional ryokan, which is whoever doesn't know, it's like a traditional Japanese type. If you ever watch like the best thing I can say is like the old kung fu movies, and they got the doors that kind of like slide, and you can see a silhouette on the other side of them, but you can't see who it is. Those kind of rooms. We stayed in one of those, and we stayed in a really nice intercontinental hotel in Osaka, and then jumped on a bullet train the last night, came back to Tokyo, close to the airport, and stayed, and then jumped on a big bird and flew back 14 hours to Toronto and 2 hours back to Atlanta, and here we are.
That bullet train, how fast that thing go?
200 miles an hour, EJ. And when you sit down, there's no seatbelt.
That's wild.
That's how safe these things are. They said there's never been a bullet train fatality since they've been operational. And honestly, you can look outside and you can tell you're going fast as hell, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, you get up, go to the bathroom, you walk around if you want to, because it was like a 2.5 hour ride. But yeah, the bullet train was a really good experience too. We rode by Mount Fuji, so we got to see that. It's a big fucking mountain.
Yeah, I was multitasking, posting social. Did you already talk about Mario Kart?
Oh yeah, we did do. Technically, it's not called Mario Kart; it's called like go-karting. But you get to put on outfits of like different onesies and characters, and we rode through downtown Tokyo. And this is when I thought, like, when I got sick the next day, I thought, oh, it was, we were riding go-karts around, you're just breathing in the gas fumes from the go-kart in front of you and driving through the streets, your mouth is probably open. I was like, that's all that is. It'll go away. No, it didn't go away. It was like 3 or 4 days later before I finally started feeling. I honestly didn't really feel well again until like the last day we were there, and even that day I started out, I was just like, ugh. Came back, took a shower, and started feeling a little better. And what else? We went to a nightclub in Tokyo, which was a lot of fun. Oh, yeah? They played all American music. That? It was a Japanese DJ in a Japanese club. People barely spoke English getting in there, and it was a lot of fun. There's people from all over the world. Like, I'm in the bathroom peeing, there's this British dude in there throwing up and all kind of shit, and he's singing Katy Perry word for word in between throwing up. And it was just like being in an American club. It was just dudes are trying to get laid and women were just trying to dance.
Should have told the guy to have some coot. Know to hold your liquor.
Man, that motherfucker. He puked and rallied though. He got done with that throwing up shit, and I saw him back on the dance floor, and he was getting it.
Hey, he did what he had to do. Right back at it. But that's what's up. Doing those go-karts though, that wasn't pretty intense. Driving in traffic like that.
It wasn't too bad because we had a guide, and he was just like, just stay behind me. When I give you this signal, we're in one line. And when I give you this signal, we're in like 2 lines next to each other. And they tell you to stay close enough to the person in front of you to where other cars can't jump in. And the driving over there is crazy. 1, you're on the left side of the road, so that throws it off. Mm-hmm. And 2, imagine the busiest city in your state, and you got niggas driving a fucking go-kart through during rush hour. Because it was like, this was a Saturday, but still, it was like, it was a busy part of the day. These people don't want to be bothered with us fucking Americans driving go-karts through the damn streets. But it was pretty dope. They took some really good pictures. They told us only take pictures when we're like stopped at a stoplight. But like, you rarely had time to take your phone out of the little pouch that they gave you, because once they were going. And instructions were you can't let people get too far in front of you because cars will jump in, and next thing you know, it's a clusterfuck. So,
hey, sounds you made it safe, so that's all that matters. And
yep,
sounds like you had a good time overall over there.
Had a damn good time.
Go ahead.
I said I had a damn good time. Glad I went.
I was gonna say, so that plane ride there and back, what did you do that whole, was it 20 hours one way or something like that?
It was 2 hours to get to Toronto from Atlanta. No TVs are on there. And then 14 hours to get from Toronto to Tokyo. And you got your seatback entertainment. This was stupid. You could buy Wi-Fi. It didn't come with the flight, but alcohol came with the flight. So I was drinking a lot. The way up there, I literally watched Lethal Weapon 2, 3, and 4 all back to back because we were up there for so fucking long, and I got tired of scrolling. And on the way back home, my girlfriend had her iPad. I downloaded the last season of The Night Agent. I watched all of that, and I started watching Summer Reacher on the way back. But for the most part, man, you get up there, and like, even for a guy like me that doesn't like flying, those big planes, you don't feel anything really. Even when they said it was going to be turbulence, like, that plane barely fucking moved. And it was pitch black out there. I opened my window at one point. You could see the clouds beneath us, and all you could see was a star. It was like we were in space. And it's so dark on the plane, like, the plane's not moving. You eat the food they give you, have a couple drinks. Next thing you know, I woke up and Lethal Weapon 3 was on. I was halfway through Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, like you said, it was like big Airbuses. You could barely feel anything. Like you said, it's huge. It sounds like you got a little bit of sleep, though, so that's good.
Yeah, I was able to. On the way back, I didn't sleep as much, but on the way there, I actually dozed off. I probably slept like 6 of the 14 hours, but for the most part. It's just sitting in, and it wasn't too uncomfortable. We were sitting in coach, but those, like I said, those planes are so big. Even the landing, we thought, man, this landing's gonna be rough with this big ass plane. Like, we hit the ground one time, didn't bounce back up, and stopped. Like, it was the craziest landing I think I'd ever had before. And it was nerve wracking flying into Toronto because the plane that crashed in Toronto was the exact model of a plane that we were on, and it was a little fucking plane. And you're flying over, when you get into Canada, all you see is snow everywhere, and you're coming down through the clouds, and that fucking thing is shaking like crazy. I'm like, damn, here we go.
Crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. You got to catch up on Reacher. I watched all the 4 episodes this season. It's a really good third season and whatnot. But I'm surprised you didn't get to catch up on any wrestling on that long ride home.
Well, like I said, they didn't have Wi-Fi. You had to pay for it, which I didn't want to. And so, but whatever, like SmackDown, I watched Saturday morning over there. And then Collision, I watched a little bit of while we were there. Monday Night Raw, I watched one. It was Tuesday morning when it was live, and my girlfriend was still asleep. So I watched Monday Night Raw live over there. Just laying in bed on my fucking phone, pulled up Netflix, and was off to the races.
I never pay for the Wi-Fi because it's usually always costs, but I always download the shows on the tablet. On one of those websites. So. Gotta find
another website now for wrestling shows.
We have to talk offline. One of those links I sent you should have worked. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, we'll talk about that offline.
It could have been because I was in Japan and maybe it threw something off with my location settings or something like that. But because there's a lot of shit that was in Japanese while I was over there all of a sudden. Like, a lot of the fucking ads and shit you get when you're on Facebook and Instagram and all that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I can't hear this. I can't read this shit. But yeah, all in all, a good trip. I'm sure I'll remember other stuff here and there, but I didn't go see any wrestling while I was there. I wanted to. There was an event at Hurricane Hall the last day we were there, the last Thursday, but they were sold out. So, and there was no StubHub over there. Yeah, it was a CMLL New Japan event, and they were sold out. And then we thought about going to see sumo wrestling too, but like I said, we both ended up getting kind of sick, and it was just like, if it's not a necessity to go out and like go get dinner or go get drinks, like, let's just take a couple days to just kind of chill, which is also good too. Like, I'm all about just chilling, and being able to do that over there in Japan, that nice ass Intercontinental in Osaka, that was the nicest hotel room I'd ever stayed in. I was like, shit, I don't care if I'm sick or not, let's just hang out.
That's what's up.
Put them on the glass.
Place that had, I was about to say, that place that had wrestling, how many people did it hold? It was sold out. That's crazy.
I don't know how many Hurricane Hall holds. And I am a little upset that I didn't get out to see, at least go by the Tokyo Dome. But like I said, it wasn't the easiest to get around, but it wasn't as hard as you would think once you figured it out. But it took us a couple of days to figure it out. Like,
oh yeah, when you gotta translate to different language, I could see that being difficult.
And those people over there are so patient too. Like, when we went to get sushi, we were trying to check out, and the guy, he didn't. Some places they speak really good English, and some places they don't speak any fucking English. And we just happened to be somewhere where they didn't speak any fucking English. And he was like pointing at something. I'm just wanting to pay. Like, he's already told me how much it is. And he's like trying to ask me a question. I'm like, I don't get it. And my girlfriend takes her phone out to Google Translate. She like holds it up to him, and he says something. She forgot to push the button, and he just kind of like smiled and said it again. He was asking me if I was a fucking member of the like points club that they have. I'm like, motherfucker, you clearly I'm not a fucking member. Like, you see, I can't understand this shit. But he was patient as everybody over there was. Like, when they were trying to ask us stuff and we couldn't figure it out, they like, over here, you go to Waffle House, and if you hear something wrong, they like, you can't fucking hear. But over there, they were just kind of like, look, man, just relax, calm down. Let me tell you what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine vice versa, tourists from over there coming over here, people would
Right.
get upset with them really quick. Speak English, speak American.
Right.
We
I'm
don't
not
do
gonna
that
lie to
over
you.
here.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know why somebody would move from Japan back to America if they're from Japan. Like, there's so much just opulence over there that just comes with being there. Like I said, public fucking toilets. They got Totos everywhere. I looked the price of them some bitches up. The cheapest one is $1,400, and everybody has one
That's crazy.
for a toilet. EJ.
Yeah, that sounds like living the life over there.
Real quick, I did find a speakeasy over there, not on purpose, but we found a speakeasy. There's a lot of like back alleyways and shit, and the stuff looks like it's closed and it's got like Japanese writing on it. And if you don't know where you're going, like you just walking by all these businesses and shit, that it almost looks like it's a secret club to get in, like an underground, like you gotta have a fucking handshake and a knock to get in the door. Like all these places did. And so we get on this elevator in this random fucking building, and we go up, and we get off the elevator, and it looks like an apartment door. And I'm like, all right, let's go in. And my girlfriend's like, I don't think we're supposed to be up here. I'm like, no, this is where the directions said that we should go. And we walk in, and it was like a little speakeasy upstairs in this little room. It's got one small bar. Like, the vibe was fucking dope in there. We had somewhere else to be, so we only stayed for one drink, but that was pretty dope. And then we found a chain sports bar. It's called B Rush. It's like pirate themed. And you go in, you walk in this room, and they're like, how many people? It's, this many yen to get in. And they go this way, right? So you're just standing there waiting, like, all right, well, I guess they're coming back. And out of nowhere from the other side, which you didn't even know it was a door over there, girl comes running through, like, screaming at you to scare the shit out of you. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And we stayed there for probably 2 hours, just kind of drinking and hanging out. And the service staff, they were cool. They spoke a little bit of English. And they had, like, dart boards and pool tables and shit everywhere. Like, it was a good time.
If there's one thing to know about Rucker, if there's a speakeasy, he'll always find his way to it somehow.
Got a nose for that shit.
I don't know how. I've never just stumbled on the speakeasy before, but it's a good skill to have.
I didn't either. I thought we were going to a bar, and it turned out it was like a little speakeasy up there, which I wasn't mad at. Like, I don't know. I just like the vibe of speakeasy, man. It's just fun.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
We'll hit up one in Vegas again when we go. All right, EJ, let's get into some wrestling. We done fucking talked about my travels long enough. We got a lot to cover. WWE Elimination Chamber was this past weekend. AEW Revolution is coming up this weekend, which a year ago we both made the trek up to Greensboro or over to Greensboro for Sting's last match for that. I don't know if it's just because I've been traveling a lot and haven't been watching AEW as much, but this Revolution to me does not feel nearly as... And I know it was Sting's last match, but this one just doesn't have the vibe that one did to me.
Like you said, that's Sting's last match, but the past month or so, Collision and Dynamite have been putting on some really good shows. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I feel like they have more, all of these matches, because not sometimes, a lot of times, in the past, AEW put matches on just to put matches on, but a lot of these matches have like interwoven stories. So, like you said, Sting was last year, so of course that's going to be the biggest thing. But I think overall, this card has some juice to it. They always seem to put a good show on for these Revolution pay-per-views. So I know we'll get to that later on in the show.
Yeah, we got some news that broke today. The WWE and NWA have struck up a partnership, which is wild to me because I didn't even know the NWA was still a thing.
Wow. So when you texted notes, because you added an extra A to it, I was like, what is this? So it is WWE and NWA.
Yeah. They have the Crockett Cup coming up. And, it's a big tag team tournament type pay-per-view. And apparently Natty Neidhart's going to be there wrestling.
So is this an official partnership or it's just like a one-off?
That's the way it was announced on Busted Open. And the tweet that the NWA put out said it was a partnership.
Well, they need to do something to breathe some more life into that because before Rampage got on, I used to keep up with NWA a good bit when they were on YouTube.
Yeah.
You had Nick Aldis with the 10 pounds of gold, the series and whatnot. I think maybe even Ricky Stark was still in it back when I was watching it. Yeah, I mean, it had the old school vibe. They taped in your neck of the woods at the soundstage.
Yeah, I was there for like the whole first season. I was in the front row.
Yeah. And then when they put it behind a paywall, it lost a lot of momentum. And then, like I said, Rampage came along, so I couldn't keep up with. I had to drop something. So unfortunately, it was NWA. And then we all know after they left the paywall and they had the CW deal lined up, James Mitchell messed around and did coke on TV for some reason, and that messed up that CW deal. And
is that what happened?
Snuck right on in. Yeah, they had a vignette or a segment where he was sniffing coke on the TV.
I kind of remember something like that.
Yeah, they pulled the deal because I think they're supposed to be on like CW proper. Because after that happened, they ended up putting them on like just the streaming side of CW. So yeah, they hadn't really bounced back since then. I think that was 2023 or so.
All right,
maybe let me be able to kickstart them.
Let me recoup or renege on what I was about to say. The NWA statement, this is what it says. It doesn't say there's an official partnership. It says, just announced on Busted Open Radio, the Crockett Cup returns on May 17th at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. If the most prestigious tag team tournament ever isn't enough, WWE superstar Natalya will be competing in an NWA ring. And then Natalya was on Busted Open, and she made the announcement. That's what they were doing. I didn't hear the interview, but they're showing the video right now. Natalya's actually going to be on, was it Jake Barnett's stuff too?
Oh, yeah?
She's going to be at GCW for WrestleMania weekend.
That's what's up. I mean, we all know that WWE is the creme de la creme of wrestling, but it seems like some of these moves they've been making, you got this one with the NWA, you got the official partnership with NXT and TNA. Are they like trying to basically put the dick on the table and, be like, we're getting all these territories in like an effort to like one up AEW? Because we all know AEW still has the New Japan partnership, and I think they still have CML partnership.
This is just WWE moving in to buy these fucking places, I think.
So you think the TNA, they're going to eventually buy TNA?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a done deal, and TNA don't even see it. I mean, the wrestlers probably see it, but the people that own TNA Anthem, they probably don't even know what WWE's building that stock up with them, and they're going to throw an offer out there that Anthem can't refuse, and they'll be owning TNA probably within the next year and a half.
Nah, I think that's a terrible idea overall for, the health of professional wrestling because, I mean, it sounds all good and nice and dandy that if they bought them, they would still have Impact show, but they'll probably cut the Impact show. Now you have all these contracts because for some reason I was looking up rosters the other day, like roster sizes, and hey, TNA, they have a bigger roster than you think. They have like 90-something wrestlers on their roster. So where do all these wrestlers go to wrestle? I mean, where's the time for them to wrestle if they do buy them? It's better when people have different options on where to work. And I think this partnership is a good situation because you have this partnership, but you're not paying these wrestlers even though they're on your product. So
yeah,
I don't know if that'd be a good deal if they bought them, but money talks.
Yeah. Let's see. Other news. That was really it that I found. So what we can do is get into WWE's Elimination Chamber, which took place this past weekend. And where were they at? They were in Canada, right? Yeah, they were in Toronto.
Toronto.
I was actually like, shit, if I get a long layover again, I might look up some tickets and just go on up there. But we didn't actually have a layover. We damn near missed our flight. By the way, I know people that don't fly a lot don't care about this. The Toronto Pearson Airport is a hunk of shit. Absolute fucking dog shit. Garbage. We had an hour and 50-minute layover, and we made it to our gate with 20 minutes left after we got off that plane. And we landed early, so we really had over 2 hours. We had to come in, go through customs, go through security, and then go through another fucking customs thing. Like, we had to go through 3 separate fucking lines, and we had to walk like probably a mile and a half through the airport to get to where we were going. Like, it was just a clusterfuck of everything. And going to Japan, we had a fucking 6.5 hour layover there. It was supposed to be 1 hour, and something was wrong with the plane. We ended up having to get off the plane. They had to bring a new one in, so we got drunk at the bar. But Toronto Airport, I hope you never have to deal with that shit. It's awful.
I didn't have a bad experience at the Toronto airport when I had a layover over there, But, sometimes you have experiences with travel where it's a smooth transition, and then sometimes you have it when it's a pain in the ass, like you had to deal with. So,
that's the first time I've ever had to deal with a layover. Also, like normally when I fly places, I just fly straight there. Like I'm not a big takeoff and landing guy, Like those are the 2 most nerve-wracking parts of the flight. So if I only got to do one each per trip, that's good. I don't want to fucking land somewhere and then have to turn around and take off again. Like, for what?
Hey, Mr. Moneybags over there. If it's a lot of times where it's a connecting flight, it's like a $300 or $400 difference. So I'm taking that connecting flight.
You say Mr. Moneybags, like that's about how much my round trip tickets cost. Is about $300 to $400.
I don't know. I've seen it where my round trip with the connecting flight is like $300 to $400, and it's even more expensive if I had like a direct flight. So,
yeah, if it was like that,
use your website.
I'd just do Expedia. But if it was like that, I'd probably look into it. But to me, it doesn't seem like, for example, Vegas. I'm looking at stuff in June, and there's, I think Delta's like 500 round trip. But I could fly American, and it'll be like $290, and there is a layover. And I'm actually thinking about it because, yeah, it's a couple more hours, but it's like an hour and 10-minute layover, and you fly into like Salt Lake or something like that, or fly to San Francisco and then turn around and fly to Vegas, and it's like it would only cost me about 3 or 4 hours on my trip time, but it would save me like over $200. So I'm thinking about that.
But I'll give you this though. You live in a major city with a major airport. The closest cities I live to are like mid-major airports, so that's why I have layovers usually. Kansas City and St. Louis are like mid-major airports, and in Columbia, the closest one is a small airport, so you have the luxury of being at that big-ass airport.
But going back to Toronto, WWE Elimination Chamber was there this week, and it started off hot with the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The bell rings. Naomi and Liv are in the ring about to lock up, and all hell breaks loose. EJ, all of a sudden, Jay comes back looking good, or should I say, dynamite? No pun intended. She comes back, and I saw a lot of discourse online. I even got into some of it with some people. They were like, Bianca looks guilty. You could even see her taking her jacket off, and I'm like, I kind of saw Bianca like dancing around and talking shit, like hyping Jade up, and they were like, "No, she's ready to fight." And Naomi was looking at her. Jade goes to beating the shit out of Naomi. Bianca's losing her shit. She's trapped in the pod. WWE released the video of Bianca inside the pod, and not to brag, but I was right. Bianca was talking shit to Liv when Jade walked in the ring. She was like, "Yeah, bitch, you thought. Whoop her ass, Bianca." And then when Bianca started beating up Naomi, she's like, "What are you doing? Get Liv." So I don't think Bianca had anything to do with it. If she did, she's a really good actress. But we've been saying the whole time Naomi did that shit, and apparently Jade thinks so too. how'd you like the way they kicked off Elimination Chamber?
Like you said, they started off with a bang, and I like how aggressive Jay was. She was like, "Ain't no time for talking. I'm just gonna put the beats on you." And hey, she mopped her ass up and got her out of the paint. Slammed the door on her head, or the sliding door, slammed it on her. Super aggressive. I was a fan of it, and I also like how they covered their tracks because internet sleuths, if they just took her out, they were like, well, she technically didn't get eliminated. They announced it, and she's eliminated. She can't compete. So I like how they did that too. So I thought it all was a good touch to it.
My daughter was watching it with us, and she liked Naomi when she was younger, and she's kind of like grown out of the girl. She's like a little gothic chick now, so she probably really liked Rhea, but she was like, oh, everybody likes Naomi because Bailey was like dancing around to Naomi's music. Bianca was hyping her up, and she's like, everybody likes her. And then Jay walks in, and my daughter's like, well, what happened? I thought they were friends. I was like, yeah, I don't know. You know how girls are.
Yeah.
But it was.
Was it last time we seen a heel Naomi when she's with Team Bad with her and Tamina and Sasha?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They're gonna need some convincing because Naomi does come across as like one of the sweetest fucking people. Like, she just comes off as a nice person, even as a wrestler. So it's gonna be hard to believe that she would commit such a heinous crime. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, I don't think Bianca had anything to do with it, but you never know. But I'm gonna go off on a limb and say she didn't have anything to do with it.
And speaking of Bianca, she wins the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which I thought was a really good match. And as I put on Twitter, I thought your girl, Liv Morgan, was the MVP of the match.
My girl? What the hell?
Yeah. You know,
your girl.
You support her all the way to oblivion. It is my girl. She and I thought she killed it. I thought she smoked it. She does such little shit now that like you don't notice unless you just happen to be paying attention to it. But she's just really good now. Oh, beat the fuck up too. I don't know if you saw that picture she posted. Arms and legs and a big welt from Bianca's fucking braid across her stomach. But Bianca wins. She eliminates Liv at the end. She's going on to WrestleMania, and then there was a face-off with Rhea, and then Io walks out because Io and Rhea would later on have a match for the WWE Women's Championship on Monday Night Raw, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I'm excited. Bianca and Rhea, or Bianca and Io, whichever way they go, I think will be a really good just women's wrestling match.
Yeah, like you said, we'll get into that later on. But yeah, overall, the Chamber, it was a nice way to kick off the card, set the tone. And I thought it was a nice hot start.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, the women's tag match, I really didn't care for too much. And it didn't sound like the crowd really cared for it either.
That match was so out of place. Like, I think without that match, this would have been like A++ level of like pay-per-views they had over here. But like you said, that match kind of brought things down. But maybe that's what it was supposed to do, as far as the non-sanctioned match that came after it. But nothing of note, But it was good seeing Trish back in there. She's 50 and she can still go. And she's pretty mobile still.
The non-sanctioned match is next.
You thought? Did I miss something? Did she mess up badly? I thought she wasn't like.
No, I was
in there,
I was talking something completely different than what you were talking about.
Oh man, my mind wasn't even wired to be thinking on that. What you thinking about? I was talking about the in-ring stuff. She seemed, solid. Like you said, now at this point to have like a good match, you have to have like a ring general partner. Like we said, Becky brought the best out of her, but it was okay. Nothing of note.
Yeah, nothing to write home about. Tiffany and Trish get the win, and then you got the unsanctioned match with KO and Sami Zayn. I honestly thought Sami Zayn would get the win here, but KO gets the win at the end they were just brutal to each other. You had barbed wire chairs. You got, I don't know if you caught this at the beginning of the show. You know how they like film the guys and women walking into the arena. KO's walking. He's got his bag and he stops. And there's like a little toolbox over here, and he just starts pulling wrenches out, and he's like hitting shit hard with it, and he's like, yeah, that'll do. And he puts it in his fucking carry-on bag and just keeps on walking. Like,
I missed it.
Yeah, it's just little shit that's like funny. He ended up not using it, but it's just like, oh yeah, I could use this. I'm gonna fuck Sammy up with this. But just a brutal match. KO gets the win, and then goes to attack Sami Zayn at the end, and Randy Orton comes back, and we're off to the races with Orton versus KO. But this match was phenomenal. EJ, who'd you pick to win this one?
I picked KO. But yeah, like you said, it was just a fight, and when it's unsanctioned, that's how you have to, set up the matches, just being a fight. Even though they did do wrestling moves, but you could tell that the animosity and how they wanted to rip each other's heads off. My one little nitpick of it is, if you didn't want to bleed because what happened in the last part of the show, you don't want to take away from that moment, then why even bring out the barbed wire chair? Don't bring it out, or just have it as a regular chair. Because his face hit the barbed wire and nothing. He just screamed a little bit. But besides that, like you said, it's a really good match. And I like how when they slipped up on like one of the power bombs on the apron, I liked how they improvised and Sammy acting like he was one last try to fight back, and then they redid it. I like how they improvised on the spot with that. So like you said, it was a good match, and and they set up Randy coming back. So
that boy's fucking jacked.
Randy Orton?
Jacked to the fucking gills. My good. There must be no more drug testing in WWE.
I like you said, he's yoked. So maybe he's on the TRT exemption with his doctor.
Well, they can't be. They did hire Jordan Grace. So I'm pretty sure they're not testing people. What?
Low key shade, but
how is that shit? Is that a secret? That's like me saying Scott Steiner was on the juice.
I mean, she's probably on the Ozempic. She, like you said,
Ozempic.
Really skinny.
She would have got smaller, not bigger.
I mean, she was. If you look at some of her old pictures, she was. I want to be politically correct.
She was healthy.
She was she was plus size, but she leaned out a lot, even though it's muscle, and they say muscle weighs more than fat. But yeah, she leaned out a lot in her older days. But sometimes hard work will do it. You never know.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, she's fucking killing it. I'm just saying. Like, even
shout out to Jordan Grace.
Yeah, even with all that, you still got to go in the gym and lift that. You still got to go pick that shit up and put it back down. And she could probably do way more than I could. Not probably, she can. So, Randy Orton comes back. Security. On one hand, in WWE pisses me off, and on the other hand, I feel bad for these guys because they come out like last night on Raw. And they just want to break up the fight. Adam Pearce is like, go stop CM Punk and Rollins from killing each other. And these guys are catching right hands, getting thrown into the fucking turnbuckle. It's just an at-work hazard I didn't sign up for. Like, I didn't know I was going to be getting attacked by the guys I'm supposed to be protecting. But then they do stupid shit. Like, they were nowhere to be found when KO was trying to kill Sami Zayn. And then as soon as Randy Orton gets ready to kick him in the face, they all slide in the fucking ring at the same time and stop it. But what a great moment that was. When he was about to bring back the punt, I was like, ooh, shit, here we go. And that's happening at WrestleMania. They're going to build up to it. He's going to catch his ass at WrestleMania.
When's the last time he's punting people? During the pandemic? I want to say he was punting people during the pandemic with no crowd. When he punted Ric Flair.
I can't even remember when he did it.
I'm pretty sure it was during the pandemic he was punting people. But I'm here for it. If he gives KO the old punt to the head at Mania.
I remember when he punted Ric Flair. I also remember when all the legends were hanging out and he walked in the room and had fucking night vision goggles on and turned the lights out and beat the shit out of everybody like Big Show. And they were all in there playing cards. Did you ever see that?
I probably did, but we watched so much wrestling, I can't even remember
Yeah.
that. It might be worth pulling up on YouTube just so I can.
Yeah, they were all sitting there playing cards, and all of a sudden they hear the door close, and Orton's standing there with the door and a chair, and he puts fucking night vision goggles on and turns the fucking lights out. And when the lights come back on, they're all laid out everywhere.
So one random memory, because he like brought back the Legend Killer thing during the pandemic for a little bit. One random memory I remember, right? Mark Henry was randomly backstage. I think he had like a broke arm or broke foot, and Randy Orton just like made fun of him, and Mark Henry just went off sad. Nothing really happened.
Hey, Mark Henry was like, shit, I got one wheel left. I ain't fucking with that man.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah. If I'm Mark Henry and I'm on the men too, and Randy Orton's talking shit, you just gotta take it. You know, he don't give a shit. He don't care if you crippled or not. That's like blood in the water for Randy Orton.
He just went off the screen just sad, and never heard from it after that ever. I think Mark Henry went to AEW shortly after that.
Where they treated him right. Not really.
That's funny.
The main event, the men's elimination chamber, we saw John Cena get the victory as Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Logan Paul all failed at going to WrestleMania to get a title shot. It'll now be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. A lot of stuff happened in this match that I could kind of see coming. I kind of saw Drew and Priest are probably going to end up in a WrestleMania match. I still think it's going to be Logan Paul and CM Punk that are going to end up in the match
so?
together. Yeah.
I don't know, man. The way AJ Styles was talking on Raw.
Yeah, I think it'll be AJ and Braun Breaker at Mania. But I think Logan Paul and Punk will have a thing. Rollins and Roman will have a thing. And then John Cena will go on to fight Cody Rhodes for the title. It went just about as I could predict it as far as the match goes. I did not see John Cena winning the way he did. I did think that was peculiar at the time that it happened. But now that all the other fallout happened, it made sense. But when Rollins stomped on Punk, Cena wasted no fucking time slapping the STF on.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the press conference he had after the Rumble, he sounded desperate. Like he needed to win it, and his actions towards the end of that match showed it. So, like you said, that was kind of peculiar at the time, but you know, it all played out, and we know why.
Yeah. And the reason why is because Cody Rhodes comes out to congratulate John Cena. All of a sudden, the music of the Final Boss hits with Travis Scott. And you sound like you feel the same way I do about Travis Scott's involvement.
It's like, because like, we'll be watching this 10, 20 years from now, and we got to go back and look at Travis Scott. Like, shout out to him. I mean, he's got some music that I like, but it's just in the grand scheme of things, we got to watch him, his involvement in it. And I know why. They're trying to get the celebrity aspect of it, trying to get the kids, you know, to click in on the YouTubes and run those numbers up. But why though? Why? It just was so cringe when I was watching it. It was cringe.
Yeah, I have no issue with him walking out there with The Rock, even getting in the ring to begin with. But once all the shit started going down, he should not have been in the ring. He should not have been in the picture. Because like you said, when we're watching this shit 10 years from now, he's in every fucking angle of it. And he's literally sitting there lighting up weed in the middle of the ring while John Cena's turning heel. Like, this ain't about you, bro. This is about fucking hustle, loyalty, and respect for 20 years. We buried the lead. John Cena turns on Cody Rhodes. I'm sure everybody knows that by now. But
yeah. But one more thing on that. Like you said, he could have walked down to the ring. I said he shouldn't even have walked to the ring. When Rock was at the podium, walked out, dap Rock up, go backstage. Like, that's how much it was like. I don't know. For some reason, it bothered me.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And then for him to start taking shots at Cody and helping Cena hold him down while The Rock's fucking hitting him with the belt. Like, what are we doing here? Why is Travis Scott allowed to come in the ring and help jump the fucking WWE champion? And not one piece of security comes out? So can I go get in the ring and help The Rock beat up Cody when they come to Atlanta?
I know. I mean, I agree with you. And did he go into business a little bit for himself? Because if you go back and look at it, he hit Cody pretty hard.
Slapped the dog shit at him is what The Rock said.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not for me. But
yeah,
if the kids are into it, I guess, that's the silver lining. But it's not for me.
The Cena heel turn, I thought it was done beautifully. If you didn't see it, and you've been under a rock, Cody told The Rock to go fuck himself. Cena's celebrating with Cody. They hug. Cena looks at The Rock and his entire facial expression changed. And The Rock does a little hand gesture. Cena kicks Cody in the balls. And then the beatdown would commence. And they beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Boy, this boy, he needs some friends. It just says a lot about Cody. Nobody ever wants to come help him when he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. Like you said, where his dogs at? Where's his friends? I thought he was friends with Jay. Well, Sammy. We know why.
We know Sammy ain't coming out.
But I thought Jay was his dog. I thought Jimmy was his dog. Like, what happened to...
They wasn't there. They could say they weren't there, but I mean, Orton was there. We just saw him.
Yeah. We're digging a little bit too much in the weeds, but y'all get our point. But yeah, nobody was there to help him. He's supposed to be the baby faces, all baby faces, but like you said, they put a brutal beat down on him. He got color, hit him with the watch and whatnot. And, like you said, it was done beautifully.
I also love the they haven't told this story yet, but they have. Like, John Cena said how many times, like, I haven't won a match in so long. Like, I need to win. I'm just going to call my shot and get in the Elimination Chamber. And now it makes sense. Even CM Punk was like, how can you just say you're in it? But whatever. And then I think I tweeted out like a week or so ago, like, damn, for his retirement tour, like, this motherfucker ain't showed up since the Royal Rumble. Now we know why. He's Hollywood John now. Turns heel and then flies back to another country, wherever he's supposed to be at, and got nothing to do with Cody. But I like it. I like that Cena's desperate. He wants that world title, and he's willing to say fuck them kids to get it.
Yeah. And when he didn't leave the ring, I'm like, all right, something's up. He's probably about to, because Cody's probably about to turn him down, and he's probably going to do something. But before he stayed in the ring, like, I didn't really see it coming until he stayed in the ring when Cody came out. But yeah, what about Cody's F-bomb before that, though? You see that coming?
Yeah, I'm surprised. And then it's one thing to have it on Netflix and not bleep it out, but they put it all over social media and didn't bleep it out either. Like, it was on their actual Twitter account and Instagram with him saying, go fuck yourself, without it being on there. That's interesting that you said that about Cena, though, because to me, I thought he gave it away. Like, he was so fucking demonstrative and goofy and cheering along and shit. I'm like, this motherfucker's about to turn.
Yeah,
so it's funny that you said that.
Yeah, like I said, I saw it coming from a mile away when he didn't leave the ring. If he would have left the ring after he won, I didn't see it coming until after the match, and he didn't leave the ring. But then I'm like, all right, something's coming. And then, like you said, he was acting all goofy. I'm like, all right, he's about to. I did a little bit too much.
I like the way they did it, that Cody came out to congratulate him, which is why he was still in the ring. And then when The Rock came out, I guess he's like, why the fuck do I gotta leave? Like, that could make sense to me, which is why I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought, well, Cody came out to point at the sign, they were going to take a picture, and The Rock's interrupting it. But when he started being all fucking demonstrative and goofy, I was like, yeah, I think Cena might be the one.
So, I guess we could talk about as far as all-time heel turns where this one ranks, but why now? Like at the end of his career, this is last year. Why now did he decide to turn heel?
It's the perfect time to do it. Perfect. People been wanting it for the longest. You never gave it to him. When's the last? Who the fuck would expect John Cena to turn heel on his last run? Nobody. Everybody thought he was gonna come out, do a couple of these, do a couple AAs, sell a couple T-shirts, and ride off into the sunset. This is perfect. Nobody expected this. And if he actually leans into it and does what Rock did last year, which just becomes this fucking ruthless heel, his last, what is this? This is March, April, May, June, July, August. He gets 6 months out of this and then turn back babyface for the last 4 months.
Yeah. We all know Vince McMahon somewhere punching air right now because that's the only person, that's the reason that he didn't turn heel, because they said they had it planned out like 7-8 years ago from the turn heel. But Vince McMahon was the person that always put the kibosh on it. But like you said, I guess it's better late than never. So I'm here for it. And like I was saying earlier, where do you think this ranks as far as heel turns? Because some people have this passing Hogan already.
Well, it's early. It depends on what they do with it. As far as shock value, I don't want to sit here and say that I'm like a smart wrestling fan, especially back in 96 when I was like 14. But I never liked Hogan. And when he came out, I just was like, this motherfucker's the third man. I don't know why or how. I just remember thinking to myself, like, why the fuck else is he coming out here? So to me, it wasn't that shocking. The Cena thing, I kind of saw that coming too. But you still don't see it coming until you see it happen. And when he did it, I was like, oh my God, this motherfucker actually did it. Now, Hogan's heel turn was more influential into the grand scope of wrestling. Like, it started the NWO. It put WCW on top of WWF for like years. WWF damn near went out of business because of it. Like, the fallout from Hogan's heel turn is way more significant than I think any other heel turn could be, because it literally changed the course of wrestling. Because, like I said, the NWO, Sting ended up doing what he did. Like, it changed WCW to where all of a sudden they went from the hillbilly territory to like the #1 brand in North America for like damn near 3 years. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a long time, but it really is, when WWF had the stranglehold on everything and they damn near put them out of business because of it. WWE right now has nobody to put out of business because of this. They're breaking records with like the money and the deals that they're getting. So honestly, like, they didn't do this to pop a rating, for example, like what WCW did. They did this just because they can. Like, this is the safest time to do it. They're not going to lose any money by not getting Cena merch like they would have 10 years ago, which is why Vince probably didn't want to do it then. They got so much money coming in from so many other places. Like, you can take chances on shit like this. And that's why I don't think this is nearly as significant as the Hogan heel turn.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's still early. I guess we got to see what happens from it. But yeah, the Hogan one kind of changed the landscape of wrestling in general, started a whole war. But what about like another shocking one, like the Stone Cold at Mania 17? Because after that, it's kind of like a lot of goofy shit that happened after that. Even though at the time it was shocking, but the fallout from that was kind of goofy.
Even the heel turn as it happened, they did it in Houston, Texas, where the crowd was still cheering for him. And it was such a, like, if you go back and watch, it was so drawn out. Like, he teamed up with Vince and it was still like 5-6 minutes left in the match after that. Like, it didn't happen and just go away. It just kept happening. Like, what are we watching here? And then, like you said, because he got hurt, all the goofy shit started happening. So it was really just, it made no sense whatsoever. And then when you go back and think about like the timing of it, they were about to start that WCW invasion. And it's like, why would you turn him heel for that when it would have made a lot? Honestly, if they would have waited and he turned heel and joined the alliance without turning heel first, I think that would have been way bigger. But once he turned on the WWF, it was like, well, I mean, he's already been kind of a piece of shit already, so.
Yeah, for sure. The thing with the Cena one, just me playing armchair quarterback. Hindsight is always 20/20. But what if, after John Cena won the match, he would, when Cody was coming out, they pass each other at like the top of the entranceway. John Cena shake Cody's hand, blah blah blah. Him and The Rock do their thing. He says no. The Rock and Travis Scott, I guess, start beating him. Then what if John Cena ran back down, acting like he was going to save Cody, and then as Cody's getting up from getting his ass beat, then John Cena did the kick. Wouldn't that made it a little bit less telegraphed?
Yeah, but you can't. I don't know how else they would have did it, but that look, like, he turned heel before he kicked Cody in the nuts. Like, as soon as the camera came in and showed that look on his face with him looking at The Rock, you could even hear it in the crowd. They were like, oh my God. Like, oh shit. And then The Rock does his little hand gesture. You're like, this can't be what's about to happen. So, your way will work too, but then you don't have the visual, the memes, right? Like, how many different memes did you see that John Cena look on his face? Like, that shit's everywhere.
The way they did it made it more memeable. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't have the hug happening, but you could still have his facial expression change as soon as The Rock gave him the and then he could have turned around and did it. But yeah, like you said, the way they did it made it more memeable. So,
and they could,
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
You could have did a throwback, I guess, to when the nation turned on Farouk for The Rock, where, like you said, Cena comes in, runs off The Rock and Travis Scott. Rock standing outside the ring, looks in the ring, gives Cena the fucking eyebrow or the little throat slash or whatever, and then Cena attacks him. But you'd still have to have that signal and that look on John Cena's face. But yeah, I guess it could have worked the way you're talking about too. But again, I just don't want Travis Scott involved in it.
Yeah, me either. So we talked about, like, I guess it depends on how they execute this in the long run. How does a heel John Cena in the year 2025 look?
He's going to look like a 17-time world champion because I think he's beating Cody at WrestleMania.
Okay. But besides, like, the match outcome, you think, of course, we're not going to see Dr. Thuganomics, but
that's what I want.
How would you what's that?
I'd want him to go back to Dr. Thuganomics. He ain't got a rap. He could just come out with that music. He could be fucking more ruthless. Because Dr. Thuganomics, he was a fucking asshole. Now, he was rapping, but he was hitting motherfuckers in the head with that chain and lock that he used to wear to the ring. Used to cheat all the time.
No. I mean, if you want to play it safe, you could go that route. I want to see a complete overhaul. New gear, new everything, new music, more like a militant John Cena. Or if they want to go to Hollywood route, they could do that as well. But like see like a more serious militant version of him. Just something completely brand new music, new everything.
I think he is going to be more serious. He probably won't even talk as much while he's a heel. But I don't know. I don't know what a heel would look like. His body doesn't look the same as it did when he was going to turn heel 12, 13 years ago. So whatever he was planning on wearing back then, he probably, like I heard him talking about, he said he had a singlet and like new boots and like a boxer robe or something like that. He said, like, I don't know how that would look now.
If I'm not mistaken, he had the singlet when he was the prototype, didn't he? Or I can't
like
remember.
the little biking shorts.
Oh yeah, he had the biking shorts. I was thinking of Charlie Haas for some reason. Charlie Haas had the singlet, but yeah. Like you said, his body type isn't quite the same, but I'm sure they planned this out a long time ago. So they have it planned out on what the presentation's gonna look like, and this because when it was just face Cena versus a heel Cody, like we talked about before, like I did not care about that, but this changes the whole complexion of it, and now I'm here for it. That puts a whole lot of juice in this WrestleMania match, and I guess you're giving us a way early prediction. You're thinking he's gonna take the title at Mania, huh?
Oh yeah, he's winning. Cody ain't going over 2 WrestleManias in a row.
I don't know, because before you said that, I would say Cody's winning for sure. This is the handing the baton moment, kind of Cena to give him a rub. But when we get closer to Mania, my prediction may change several times. So I guess we'll find out, close to the event what I choose. I don't know.
All right, EJ, let's get into Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week.
Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week. So last time you went with the power rankings. You went first with the power rankings, so I guess you go first with the Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week.
I'm going to go with the lady who won the Elimination Chamber. She was on Monday Night Raw sitting ringside for the Women's World Championship match, Bianca Belair. And before y'all ask, I'm sure Montez Ford can fight.
He was military, so I'm sure he has some combat experience.
He's married to Bianca. I'm sure he's got combat experience from fucking people trying him already, just from that.
True that. What she have on? I can't remember.
She had on like some little shorts and heels and like a fur coat, and the shorts and the shirt were glitter type joints.
Okay, so we should put a bookmark on this, because after we do the Street Clothes Wrestler Week, we got to talk about like how the WrestleMania is shaping up and whatnot. But my Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week is one of Rucker's all-time favorite wrestlers, and I'm not being sarcastic. I got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on his outfit at an Elimination Chamber. That whatever he's wearing, it's too expensive for my pay grade. I don't even know what it was, but
damn bell bottoms.
It was a black. Yeah, it was a black vest. It looked silkish with the not polka dots, but it was like it had the pattern, the white dot patterns on it, and you had to coordinate, as the late John Witherspoon would say. And it's The Rock, so of course always coming out looking fly as The Rock always does, and have him as my Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week.
I'm not a fan of the bell bottoms. He did that shit last year during WrestleMania.
He did?
Yeah, remember when he walked out to the ring before the match, he's basically wearing the same thing he wore last night, or at Elimination Chamber, only it was white. He was wearing that, and then he took it off and had his wrestling tights on. And then when he came out night 2, he was wearing damn near the same thing, a white version of that. But yeah, he's wearing the bell bottoms and the vest last year, and I don't know who decided bell bottoms were a thing again. But
I think I don't know about Kendrick's wardrobe choice, but as far as The Rock goes, I think it's an ode to Elvis, because does he have like the collar on it too?
Yeah. Well, Kendrick was wearing boot cut. He's wearing a big ass boot cut with no boots.
Yeah, but yeah, isn't Rock a big Elvis fan?
I don't fucking know. Rock says he likes everybody. I'm starting to think the Rock might be a liar, but he likes every damn body.
But this is like before he was doing PR moves to say stuff to look good. I think he was a Elvis fan back when he was in his WWE
black ass ain't like no fucking Elvis.
I don't know. Like, I believe, because he used to sing a lot of Elvis and stuff back in the day. So I don't know.
Now that I think about it, when I was younger, I do remember there was always an Elvis movie on the weekends. So The Rock's like 10 years older than I am, so he probably did watch a lot of Elvis shit when he was a kid.
Yeah, I want to say Elvis used to film movies in Hawaii, and Rock grew up a little bit in Hawaii with his mom's wrestling business and whatnot.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, you couldn't go a weekend without seeing a fucking Elvis movie on. Either your grandmother was watching it, or your mom was watching it, or wrestling went off and there was an Elvis movie on. Like, Elvis was on all the channels when I was younger, so I could only imagine they were probably on a lot when The Rock was coming up too. So maybe he's a big Elvis fan.
Yeah, but that's what I think his wardrobe was paying homage to. But who knows? What do I know?
We can get to the WrestleMania talk, but let's go through the power rankings first. And I imagine that some of our power rankings will spill out to the WrestleMania talk.
So it's my turn. My number 5 is the only AEW wrestler on this, and you probably getting a chance to watch last week's Dynamite, but Takeshita and Orange Cassidy, like, even though I highly enjoyed Elimination Chamber and I thought Elimination Chamber was fantastic, Takeshita and Orange Cassidy may have had the match of the week last week. Like, they did some type of sequences I've never seen before. Like, what was Orange Cassidy trying to do? He was trying to do maybe the Stun Dog Millionaire, or he was trying to do the Stun Dog Millionaire, and Takeshita reversed it into that Blue Thunder Bomb. Just the way it was executed, I never seen this shit before. And they went at it, and Takeshita retained that international championship, and it's going to be a long-awaited rematch between him and Kenny Omega at Revolution, which I'm looking forward to. So Takeshita is my number 5 on the power ranking.
My number 5 won the unsanctioned match, Kevin Owens. Full disclosure, when Kevin Owens first came to WWE, them first 5 years, I couldn't stand him. I didn't like him at all. Yeah, I could not stand Kevin Owens. I turned the TV when he would come on. His comedy has picked up, his wrestling's picked up, at least to me, and now he's probably one of my favorite people to watch wrestle and be on TV. I probably need to get me a Kevin Owens t-shirt. Kevin was right.
That'd be dope. Just get a KO Mania. I can't remember. I think he's on 7 or 8. You know, it always correlates with the actual Mania that happened in real life. He's getting up there with his Mania appearances. So, shout out to Kevin Owens.
My number 4, still your women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, defeats Ivy Nile in a match that had no business being as good as it was. Because as much as I like Ivy Nile, I didn't think she could go as she did, but it was a pretty good match.
I thought it was solid. Like you said, you really expect too much of Ivy Nile. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with this IC title. I know it's probably not gonna make Mania. I would like to see Dakota Kai with it. I think she would be a really good Intercontinental Champion, but that's just me.
She already lost.
What's that?
She lost last week.
Yeah. They had Lyra defending it back-to-back weeks, which was.
I think she lost 2 weeks ago, and then Ivy Nile attacked her, and then they made the match last week, and it happened this week. So I think 2 out of the last 3 weeks she's defended the title.
Man, these weeks be running into each other. So, but yeah, my number 4. You weren't a fan of this match, but the reason I'm putting Tiffany and Trish on it, just because Trish, Trish's age, like, she's still out there, not looking old and decrepit, and still being able to move out there. And they got the win over Nia and Candice LeRae. So I got Tiffany and Trish as my number 4. My number 3 was your number 5. I got Kevin Owens, finally getting a win, even though it wasn't sanctioned after losing back-to-back to Cody. And I think he had a loss in between those 2 Cody matches, actually. But, was able to get some type of get back, even though Randy Orton didn't let him enjoy his win. Randy Orton had to come and spoil the moment, but got KO as my number 3 on the power rankings.
I mean, I don't think he was just innocently trying to enjoy his win. He was literally trying to kill Sami Zayn.
Hey, man, KO was right.
You act like he was standing on the turnbuckle, like, with his arm in the air, so he's about to try to kill that man.
Hey, man. Sammy had to learn the consequences of his actions.
He learned the hard way.
Came over. Randy had to interrupt that. So it is what it is.
My number 3, the number 1 contender for the WWE Women's World Championship, Miss Bianca Belair, who will go on to WrestleMania as of right now, to face my number 2, your new Women's World Champion, Io Sky. You wanted to talk about WrestleMania plans, EJ, and I believe this may have had something to do with what you wanted to talk about.
Exactly.
I like it.
That was your number 2?
Yeah, Io's my number 2. Can I tell you why I like it? Because nobody thought that would happen. Now, I do have questions. You have 2 women's championship matches. You have Tiffany Stratton, who is still relatively new and has never even wrestled at WrestleMania before, taking on Charlotte Flair, who, as good as they say she is, she also has only wrestled in the Royal Rumble in almost 2 years. And you're about to take them and put them in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, mainly because Charlotte probably pulled some power stroke and was like, this is what I want to happen. On the other side, more than likely, anybody that watches wrestling is going to tell you that it's not going to be Io versus Bianca. It's going to be a triple threat. What I don't understand, there's all those smart people that run WWE. Who in the fuck would think that Bianca versus Rhea isn't good enough that they need to add Io to the match, but Charlotte, who's been on the show for 2 years, and Tiffany Stratton, who's never wrestled at WrestleMania, will be good enough for a one-on-one match? I don't get that math. Now, I'm a big fan of Io. I really don't like Rhea that much. I was cheering for Io last night. If they have it just Bianca and Io, that would suck for Rhea. But, you know, you got to look at Liv Morgan, too. She carried the fucking division while Rhea was out. Becky left. Trish Stratus left. Liv Morgan basically carried the division, and she doesn't even have a title match at WrestleMania. So, if they left it with just Io versus Bianca, I think that's going to be a great match. It won't have the cachet that Rhea versus Bianca would have. But I'm just miffed at why Charlotte and Tiffany are just skating towards a one-on-one match, and they probably have the most questionable chemistry that's going to happen.
All right. Before I get in what I want to say about this, I guess both of us got John Cena number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both of us have John Cena as number 1 on our power ranking. All right, so going back to this Io whole situation when she won the title, we've all complained in this Triple H era that it's too predictable. We can kind of see what's coming. So hats off to Triple H for the past 6 weeks or so, because you had Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. Not a lot of people saw that coming. John Cena turning heel, something that's been basically 20 years in the working. And then most people thought Rhea was going to skate in and beat Io. And she won the title with the first Raw on Netflix. So that was a long title reign.
Just under 2 months.
Yes, and Io got the win. So I didn't see that coming. So shout out to, you know, it being unpredictable. But then I was thinking about it, like, I don't know. I think WrestleMania is where it's supposed to be gladiators going at it one-on-one. So if this ends up being a triple threat match, it just takes away from it. I mean, you could go in there and have a bang of a triple threat match. It's possible, but just having that cachet of being one-on-one, that's what makes Mania. So I think having it a triple threat match waters it down. And like you said, how come Charlotte and Tiffany are skating by with their one-on-one match, and this could possibly be a triple threat match? Like you said, if it's Bianca and Io, they could put a good match, a great match on. Because like Io's probably like one of the best in-ring workers in the business, but I don't know. People wanted to see Rhea and Bianca one-on-one. That's like the thing that's been building up, because they've been kind of on their separate pathways on different shows, and I don't think they've had if they had a one-on-one match, it would have been an NXT, but you'd have to check the stats. I don't know if they did, but I think everybody was looking at that clash, but now it might be a triple threat match, but I don't know.
Maybe it's
you were to go ahead.
Maybe it's too much. Maybe they did have them penciled in. They were looking at the card and they were like, God damn, we got Roman and Seth. We got Jey Uso going to win the title. You got Cena's a heel now. You know, you got Punk and Logan Paul more than likely. Like, just hit after hit after hit. KO and Randy Orton are probably going to fight. Like, we don't want Rhea and Bianca to get lost in the sauce. So maybe they put it on the back burner until next year. Maybe Rhea's not even in the title match, and it's just Bianca's going to win. She'll keep the belt for a year. Maybe Rhea wins Elimination Chamber next year, and we finally get that match. And it's, you know, maybe they've built Rhea up because originally I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a triple threat. But I don't know if you saw the promo that Rhea cut after. Well, it wasn't even a promo. It was like Kathy Kelly came and asked her about it, and she talked for 4 minutes. Honestly, that's the most I've ever been intrigued by Rhea Ripley. She talked about how dumb she is, and she keeps getting distracted, and she realized she's got no friends, and her and Bianca, you know, they came up in NXT together, and they've been talking about fighting each other at WrestleMania for years, and it hurt her feelings that Bianca was cheering for which she wasn't, by the way. Bianca was literally cheering for both of them the whole match. But yeah, it was a really good, and I think they're about to take Rhea on this journey of like self-doubt for the next year or so. Maybe she doesn't even get on WrestleMania.
I don't see a WrestleMania going by without Rhea on the card at all. I mean
she'll get on it, but she just won't be in the title match. Maybe she'll find her a partner and try to fight Liv and Raquel.
If they can make it where it doesn't seem like they're forcing it, then I'm fine with that. But I don't know. I just see them having a triple threat match because, you know, Paul Levesque likes Rhea and he likes Io. I don't know if he's a Bianca fan like that, but I just see it triple threat. I wouldn't be mad at it if they were to find a way for her to get that tag team match and save it for next year, you know.
Becky?
Because I think, that would be dope. But yeah, because allegedly she's been re-signed since the beginning of the year, and we still haven't seen her. But yeah, I would be for either not having her in the match at all, and like you said, saving it for next year, then have a triple threat match, and then doing it again 1-on-1 next year, because that kind of waters it down. So, like I always say, I guess we got to see how it plays out. But I'm not a fan of the triple threat match. And which brings me to another point as far as the WrestleMania shaping out. You already kind of gave your prediction. Did Punk eliminate Logan from the? They did a double joint. They did a double. Yep. Him and Cena. They spammed the finishing moves. I guess you could bring it back around like that. Where
no, that's how they eliminated Rollins. He just eliminated Logan Paul.
Okay, so you can make a case for Punk and Paul going at it, but I don't know. I'm hoping you're right because triple threat match between Roman, Rollins, and Punk doesn't even make a lick of sense unless somehow they put the number one contendership on the line. No title on the line, triple threat. That doesn't make a damn lick of sense. And I got a feeling, I hope I'm wrong, I got a feeling that Roman's just going to come at MSG and just like rip the cage out and the match doesn't end cleanly and somehow they ended up making it a triple threat story. I'm hoping that's not what happens, but I don't know, man.
I feel like Logan Paul's going to interfere and cost Punk the match, and then Roman will come back after the match and him and Seth he'll come out and fucking lock him and Seth in the cage and just beat the dog shit out of him. And that's how they'll get started. But I think Logan Paul's going to cost Punk the match. Punk can't beat Rollins again. Like, he's already up on him 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Rollins keeps losing these fucking multi-match feuds. You know, he's lost 3-0 to Cody. Now he's about to go down 3-0 to Punk. Like, pretty soon we ain't going to want to hear your fucking voice about how you're so great when you can't beat anybody.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not a triple threat match somehow. But going back to Logan Paul, is the AJ Styles thing just a red herring then?
I think they just kind of got everybody interwoven in, but I think AJ Styles is fighting Braun Breaker.
They interacted a few weeks ago, didn't they? I can't remember.
And then Finn got involved.
Oh yeah, it could. I can see that being a triple threat match. Finn, AJ, and Braun Breaker. Wasn't Braun popping shit off the Finn Balor on Raw?
Yep. Before we get to Revolution predictions, I just want to say this. CM Punk had a little meltdown last night on Monday Night Raw. And he is such a fucking hypocrite.
What did he say? I mean, I heard his promo. But what about it?
Man, he's calling people middle-aged and midlife crisis, talking shit about The Rock, and it's like, you kind of in the middle of a midlife crisis yourself, bud. Like, you're dressing a little different now that you're older. You got your goofy little fucking haircut now, trying to cover up your bald spot that he made fun of John Cena for. But then the kicker was, he was like, I've never been so delusional where I got a fake title and walked around with it like I was a champion. Hello? Did you... I mean, I know a lot of people didn't watch Collision back then, but you were literally carrying around a fucking title calling yourself the world champion in AEW.
The real world champion with the X sprayed on it. How you know that man's got a bald spot, though?
Because who else takes their hair and combs it over the top like that?
That's pretty presumptuous of you, but I digress. I mean, yeah, like you said, he's walking around with the fake title.
Him and
John
Dave
Cena
LaGreca,
the same age.
They got the same cut.
Dave LaGreca. Yeah, I mean, him and John Cena are like the same age. So he's calling John Cena midlife crisis in that promo as well. That's a bit hypocritical.
And he's talking about Dwayne done that stupid shit like, you don't really love the business. Neither do you. You literally came back and said you're here to make money. Like, we know you don't love the business. So how can you come out and be the defender of motherfuckers that love the business? Shut the fuck up, dude. Jesus. You come out throwing a fucking tantrum, breaking the fucking announce table and throwing shit around. Yeah, I got a lot to say. Who should I talk about first? Talk about why you lose all the fucking time. You talk about that? Talk about why you can't stay healthy? God, he just fucking chaps my ass, man. And the more people like him, the more it pisses me off. It's like, how do y'all not see this guy's a cocksucker?
I'm not here to defend CM Punk, but the fans were into it, so what can you really say?
A bunch of dumb fucking marks.
He's just gonna insult the fans like that?
Fuck him. I side with Becky Lynch. Worker. Becky was talking shit about Punk. You see that? Because he brought up her name again, said you need to come get your man or something like that. And somebody tweeted out a picture. There's been some stuff online about how Punk and like Roxanne are real fucking close, and people think it's creepy. And there was a picture side by side. They basically had matching gear at Elimination Chamber, Punk and Roxanne. And Becky retweeted it and said, "It doesn't look like it's me that needs to come get my man." So,
hey, I mean, if you think about it, her and AJ like both small, both Latina, if I'm not mistaken.
What you saying? Punk got a type?
Yeah, Punk got a type. But have you been watching that LFG show?
No, I saw the first episode. I hadn't seen the last two.
Like, I don't like to hate on people's game, but Roxanne's boyfriend is on there, and hey man, congratulations to him. He definitely outkicked his coverage.
Is that the black dude, light skinned black dude?
Nah, he's with the light skinned black dude is with Maxine Dupree.
Oh wow.
Nah, he didn't outkick his coverage. He's a smooth looking dude. You know?
Oh no, Maxine. Maxine, she ain't my type, but she got it. It's a good looking woman.
She is my type, but I digress. But yeah, Roxanne's boyfriend's on there. He looks a little bit like on the what's the guy's name? The To the Moon guy or the guy from Brooks and Dunn. Not Brooks and Dunn. You know the
To the Moon. You talking about the Honeymooners?
No, Brooks and
Oh,
the country they used to be.
Oh yeah, the one looks like Jay-Z Flair. What the hell was his name? He got all the Bitcoin money or whatever.
Brooks and Jensen. They used to be with your girl, the Mickey James clone.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Trevor Lee. What was his name?
Yeah, I was talking about. I was all over the place, but yeah, it looks like Trevor Lee, and also one of the dudes with used to be with the not toxic attraction.
Look, man,
the new group.
You could say he outkicked his covers, but we live in a world where Joey Janela is with Megan Bain. He's been with Brandy Lauren, and he's with Penelope Ford. Like Joey fucking Janela.
Isn't he missing a tooth too?
Missing a couple of them.
Hey man, he's got the juice.
Right, he got something. He got his ass kicked in front of his girlfriend. She still went home with him.
Yeah, your girl Fallon Henley, the group she was with. You remember those two dudes?
Yeah, the brothers. Or were they cousins?
Jason? I don't think they're brothers. Yeah. I think one is Bill Buchanan's son.
Well, they're not brothers in real life. They were either playing brothers or cousins on TV. Like they grew up together.
I think they're playing cousins. I think they're playing cousins or some shit. But yeah, that dude. I say that to say that dude is in that type of mold, like one of those beardy dudes that look like he's from Georgia or Louisiana.
Hey man, don't be hating. Roxy like what she like.
Yeah. But that's funny that Becky called him out like that. I mean, he has been at the NXT, performance center a lot.
Somebody put a collage together of all kind of pictures of them out like eating dinner. Excuse me, dinner together and shit, like him, her, and Cora Jade. And I'm like, people can be friends of the opposite sex, but when you start looking at it, you're like, damn, he hangs out a lot down there with the motherfuckers.
He's a 69 god. Yeah. What are you doing with these little? They're barely not teenagers anymore. What are you doing, punk?
And your boy Drake done fell off so hard. He was sitting right behind Michael Cole Elimination Chamber. They never even mentioned him.
I saw that. I'm surprised. Like, WWE's about if they show Hardy and all these random ass people, and they didn't show Drake on camera and acknowledge him. That's so weird to me.
In Toronto, yeah. And he was sitting behind Michael Cole, and they were talking, and I was telling my girlfriend, I said, "Isn't that Drake?" Like the crowd wasn't lit up, and she was like, "If that was Drake, like they would have said something." I'm like, "That's fucking Drake." And then we went to his Instagram, and there he was.
And I think Yachty was there, and Yachty already got it. Maybe he requested not to, be acknowledged, because, like I said, all these random people they be showing in the crowd, the fucking UNLV football team, and they didn't show Drake. What are they doing?
Yeah. WJ, let's get these Revolution predictions, man. We're running long tonight. It has been the first show in a couple weeks, though.
AEW Revolution going down in Los Angeles, California, at the home of the Lakers, the Crypto Arena.
Oh, I hope they do some cool shit like WWE did for Raw.
WWE were in the Clippers arena.
I thought they were in the Oh yeah, you're right. WWE was in the new one.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah,
Scratch that.
They're gonna be at the old Staples Center. They just renamed it Crypto a couple years ago, but it's the Staples Center.
Yeah.
Mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
The Lucas Center.
So
Mama call him
what's
Clay.
that?
I'm calling Clay. The Lucas Center now.
The Lucas Center. Yeah, that trade is looking even worse and worse. That Kyrie towards ACL.
Mavericks are in it. Mavericks are down bad right now, bro.
Yeah, they said that general manager about to get his ass fired.
That motherfucker, he needs security. Ain't that a bitch? You are so bad at your job that you need personal security from your fans. We ain't even try to whoop Jerry Jones' ass like that. Like, how bad is this guy?
Yeah, so not looking good in the Big D as far as their basketball team. But let's get into this pay-per-view. Rucker. Dark match on this show, and it seems like something for clicks, but, I guess it's been working, so they're going to keep going to the well. We got Big Boom, AJ.
We bring the boom.
Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe with Big Justice versus Johnny TV and MXM Collection.
What is it about
Monster,
these two fucking people and these chocolate chip cookies at Costco that people like? They are so bad at acting. They are nothing comes off natural with them. The dude's exploiting his kid, like, and people love this shit. I don't get it.
I mean, it's not for me. I don't get it either, but I don't knock people from making their money and getting their hustle on because it's a short window. You know, your 15 minutes of fame not gonna last forever. So
I'm not knocking them.
I don't get it either.
I'm knocking the people that fucking all the millions of followers that they got. Like, how? Why?
There's no code to crack that algorithm. For some reason, I think little kids liked it, and it kind of spread up to slightly older people, and it's just people just like randomness. I don't know.
It's a double chocolate chip cookie.
We've seen this throughout the years. The backpack kid and his dance, and
at least he could dance.
From a year now. It's true.
This little kid don't do shit but eat cookies. And honestly, he don't need to be. Him or his dad.
Oh, now we body shaming. That's not what we're going to do on this show, Rucker.
I'm not body shaming anybody. I'm just saying the man can be healthier.
All right, who you got this match?
Fucking child abuse. Taking your kid to Costco, getting them double chocolate chip cookies all the fucking time. Little boy in a triple X shirt.
I tried my best to keep the show moving, and Rucker want to pile on this little kid.
Hey, okay, he's a kid. Don't call him little. Motherfucker bigger than Orange Cassidy.
Oh, man. Roasting, steady roasting this kid. I got Big Boom and Conglomeration. Just to
Get the fuck out.
Start off on a good note.
Are you really picking him to win?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
No, I'm not picking no damn Johnny TV.
Why not?
Cause
I like Johnny Mundo.
Glorified jobber at this point.
That Starship Pain was my shit back in the day.
As good as AEW is doing with their storytelling, I feel like they kind of cooled them down. A lot of fans were cheering for MXM, and I haven't really seen them lately, but I think they're gonna take the L.
I'm going with Johnny Mundo.
There you have it.
Big Boom AJ.
On the main show, I don't know if these are in the right order, but I'm gonna go in the order they have it listed on here. Will Ospreay, the assassin, the aerial assassin, versus Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match.
Ooh.
This will be a good one.
I want Kyle Fletcher to win, but I think Ospreay got it.
I think Ospreay has it as well. You know, early on they let Fletcher get the win. Since then, Ospreay got it back, and I think he wins this little rubber match because, you know, it's been a year now, and I like it, you know, how they didn't give him the world title right away, but he's got to be in the world title mix soon because, I mean, he's the most over guy on your roster probably at this point. And the next guy we're going to talk about, at least that's in the MJF versus Hangman Adam Page, and just a grudge match. No stipulations, just a regular singles match.
I like this build a lot. Hangman at one point was like the most intriguing character on AEW TV, then he kind of went away. Now he's back to being somebody that you got to watch. I don't feel it with MJF still. He's doing better this feud, but I know people are going to say I'm crazy because he gets the biggest reactions and, you know, he does the low-hanging fruit and all that shit. And the guy can wrestle his ass off, but, like, he talks more than he wrestles, and I just don't vibe with what he says a lot. But I think he and Hangman will have really good chemistry together, and this could, you know, Fletcher and Ospreay's up there too, but this could be match of the night. And I'm going to go with Hangman.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really I can argue with what you said. I think this got MJF back on track because he was middling around with fucking Jeff Jarrett before this. But like you said, I don't know if he's quite all the way back. Like you said, he still does a lot of the low-hanging fruit, but he's definitely a lot more relevant than he was when he had his little lull. So I like this feud for him to kind of get back on track. I guess we'll have to see what happens after this. But Hangman Page, I mean, I don't know why the fans love him so much after the dastardly shit he's done, burning people's houses down and beating the shit out of people backstage.
The fucking guy came in his house and threatened his kid.
Yeah, but you commit arson, you're supposed to call the police on Swerve, not commit arson in exchange.
Man, this is pro wrestling. You threaten my kid, I'll burn your house down. Them's the rules.
But yeah, I mean, people say Hangman's the main character, and he's getting the reactions like he is. Like him and Ospreay are the two most over people on the roster. And for this little run that Hangman Page, like if you were to say he'd be back in the world title mix, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, he could put him right back in the title mix as well. So I got Hangman Page as well. Another really good build-up. I know both of us going to be, this could be steal it from match of the night too. We got Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet, and this is for the #1 contendership for the AEW World Title.
Man, Ricochet had such a good win in Atlanta that I was in attendance for against Swerve, but this is about to be 50-50 booking at its finest, and Swerve's about to be right. But I want Ricochet. I love Swerve. I want Ricochet to win. I have never been more invested in Ricochet since he first got to NXT. When he first got to NXT, he was dope. And now they've turned him heel. He's got a little bit of personality. Like, I'm feeling it. And I'm going to pick Ricochet. I know Swerve's going to win, but I'm going to pick Ricochet just because. Make it happen.
I kind of want to pick Ricochet, but I'm going to go with
Nana
Swerve.
turns on Ricochet. Turns on Swerve.
I was about to say, because he's got to get that jacket back. But Swerve is still super over with the fans, but I feel like the Nana aspect of it is kind of cooled down with like the dancing would not. I think that may have ran its course. What were you about to say?
I don't mean to be critical of AEW because they have been putting on really good shows, but just like the crossing the T's and the dotting the I's just don't happen. On Dynamite, Nana walked off from Swerve and was like, if you don't get my shit back, I can't do this no more. And then on Collision, they just come out together like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. But maybe that's, like you said, maybe that's setting up a turn for Nana with Ricochet.
Man, I
wouldn't be mad at that to kind of freshen up Nana a little bit.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't see the Swerve When I Drive dance no more.
We've seen it plenty of times. And that'd make it even bigger if they do reunite in the future. So I'm looking forward to that match. Next match for your AEW TBS Championship, we got Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe.
They've tried to make this match important, but let's be real. Mercedes ain't losing. This is just going to be a good wrestling match. And now this is the same woman that beat Athena, right?
Yeah.
Is her name Athena in ROH? Why did I call her Athena?
Yeah,
what's her real?
It's Athena.
Okay. And she hadn't lost in like 3 years, and she goes over to Japan and loses to this lady. And instead of her wanting the ROH Women's Championship over somebody she beat, she'd rather go for the secondary title on AEW? Okay. And now she's just going to lose to Mercedes.
Yeah. She ain't winning. Like you said, this is like a good layover until Mercedes does what she needs to do next. But how about the Billy Starks appearance? I don't think I've ever seen her on AEW. I wonder, is that just random or is that going to lead into something?
If you, they've been talking shit online, and Athena and Mercedes have actually started going back and forth now on Twitter. So that's coming. And Mercedes is like,
what kind of gaslighting shit is that? Don't tell me Athena is taking up for Billy Sparks.
Yeah, she is.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. As bad as she treats Billy Starks now, only I could treat her bad. You can't.
Yeah, that's my minion. You don't talk to my minion like that.
That's hilarious. I'm here for it. That's gaslighting at its finest. That's hilarious. Now I gotta go check that out. Now that you mentioned that. But yeah, both of us got Mercedes. Next matchup, I don't know where they're going with this. Maybe you could explain. But we got tag team champions, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners.
This is
Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus Turbo Floyd and the Truth Magna. So by the way it was setting up, you thought it was gonna be the Murder Machines, and they like pivot to this. The Murder Machines getting beat. I don't understand.
These dudes. What's their names again? The Outrunners.
Outrunners. They're hilarious.
This is
Turbo
the classic fucking just shitty gimmick that's gotten over. And these dudes are not fun to watch in person. I'm sorry. They were in Atlanta both times I went and saw AEW recently. I got to see them up close and personal. They're not good in the ring. They're corny as all hell. You son of a bitch. They're corny as hell. I don't know how they're over. Like, Shelton and Lashley, this is going to be a squash.
You think under less than 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah. The entrance is going to be longer than the match. We hurt people.
We hurt people. Like, as big as WWE is, and they're a well-oiled machine, they're the biggest company in the world. Like, for some reason, AEW's themes be hitting harder than the WWE themes of late. I wonder why.
WWE's got that lame-ass Def Lizard or whatever the fuck they're called.
Def Rebel.
Yeah. They suck.
Def Rebel, people shit on them now, but they've been there for like 5 years. They came up with Seth's theme and Roman's theme. Like, I wonder why.
They fucked Roman's new theme up.
Well, with the remix Roman theme, but they came up with the original Roman theme and Seth's theme.
Did they? I don't know if they've been there that long.
Yeah, that wasn't CFO. If you go on YouTube, it's Def Rebel that did both of those themes.
They still trash.
Maybe
they
lost the sauce.
There's a pecking order of like, you can't fuck Roman song up. But then you got like Johnny Gargano and they're like, hey, we got this little fucking corny ditty that we got. And they're like, oh, cool, yeah, get at the Gargano. But when it came to Roman, like, you're not just going to give him any fucking thing. So, or Seth, right? But I got the Hurt Syndicate.
One more thing, like the theme is like, you don't want it to be your whole identity, but that could keep your like momentum going as far as being over with the fans. Because I feel like Penta is kind of, I mean, he came out to fanfare, but he's kind of falling back just slightly. And if he had like a dope ass theme song, that could have kept his momentum going on a little bit more, I think.
I mean, look at Jey Uso. The Usos theme song was over as hell towards the end of the Bloodline, so they just left him with it and changed a couple words. Look at Roman Reigns for the longest. He kept the fucking Shield theme while everybody else was getting new music. He just took away the Sierra Hotel shit. Theme songs go a long way in, like you said, getting you over and helping you stay over. Because that Pavlov's dog fucking theory of, oh, I know whose theme that is. When you hear, ooh, so, you know who that is. When you hear the glass break, you know who that is. When you hear fucking, oh, that's Becky. Let's do this.
Yeah. Bring back Jim Johnson from retirement. But I digress. Another one, man, I think we'll be talking about this when we come back next week. Timeless Toni Storm defending her championship. Mariah May, the rubber match. Falls count anywhere.
I got Tony. This is gonna be a good match, though.
You think we see any color in this? You think it'll get down and dirty?
Probably.
Oh, I'm here for it. Yeah, I got Timeless Toni as well. I think she carries the belt into Double or Nothing, and what happens after that? I have a thought, but we got a long ways to go before that happens. Next up, for your AEW International Championship, we got Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis versus Chinny by God Omega.
I got Omega.
Match of the night. You got Omega winning the International Championship.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what qualifies as a Grand Slam in AEW, but Kenny Omega's got to be getting damn near close to it if he wins this one.
Well, he'll at least be triple threat because he's been world champion and tag team champion.
Well, he's got the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown. Tony Khan announced that when it happened.
What other belt did
trios?
He win? He did win the trios champion.
Yep. And world championship.
Oh yeah, he is about to be a Grand Slam champion.
So I got Omega winning as well. I know it's going to be a banger. And which brings us to the main event. Your AEW World Championship on the line. You got your champion Jon Moxley versus Adam Copeland.
Moxley.
I'm going to go against the grain on this one. And I didn't come up with this thought myself. I was thinking about it, but then somebody, I can't remember what I listened to, they said it. And I'm like, because I don't see an end game for, Christian's had this briefcase for, a year now almost? He's had it for a while. He had it since All In. I could see Cope winning and then Christian cashing it in and doing it like that.
Yeah. Nothing says like, look at my company, like two fucking 50-something-year-old dudes being the last two world champions you got.
I hate the idea, but I can see that happening because like Christian's just there with it. So I'm gonna go off a limb and say that happens. I think it's disgusting if it, like you said, that this is what Hulk Hogan winning the title 20 years ago, and him and Ric Flair going back at it,
trading it back and forth. Meanwhile, you got a fucking Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and Ricochet and Swerve on your fucking roster. But you're giving the belt to fucking Copeland and Christian. Ugh. Save us, Moxley.
What?
Save us, Moxley.
The only reason why I think this may happen is because they choked him out at Grand Slam and he's gonna beat him again like that. Like, what's the point of that?
Fuck him.
But yeah, that's our predictions for AEW Revolution this weekend.
Pretty long show. Had to do a little bit of a catch up at the beginning, but thank everybody for listening. Like we talked about at the start, WrestleMania T-shirt week is fast approaching. WrestleMania itself is approaching. 6 weeks from tomorrow night, EJ, I'll be flying out to Las Vegas.
For Mania?
Yeah, 6 weeks from tomorrow night is my
close?
flight. Yeah, it's 6 weeks away.
Well, shit, if you flying out, I mean, I'm flying out too. Damn, this fucking getting pretty close. Man, time to be flying, man. That shit kind of scares me, but it is what it is.
If anybody's listening, I'll be on Fremont Street for Wednesday and Thursday night before I move over to the Strip for the rest of the weekend. I'm down to get drinks. I'm down to gamble. I don't know how much wrestling stuff I'll be seeing. I am going to WrestleCon probably every day. So if I see you at WrestleCon and I look a little drunk, it's probably because I am.
Yeah. Ditto.
I got this is Sting's last year in his face paint and shit like that. So I bought a meet and greet with Sting to get a picture because the last picture I got with him in face paint didn't come out well. You know who else is going to be there though that I kind of want to buy this picture with? And I'm not somebody that buys a lot of pictures, especially expensive ones, but Mike Tyson's going to fucking be there.
Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson's going to be at WrestleCon on Saturday morning. And you can pay for a picture with him. I think it's like $100. You get a picture or autograph, or you get both and it's like a combo.
I had to retaliate. Are you thinking about doing it?
I really am. When am I going to get a picture with Mike Tyson?
You got to get him to sign a picture of him with the DX shirt, him and Triple H and Shawn cross-chopping in the picture.
Jeff from Fully Posable he's thinking about getting the cartridge for Mike Tyson Punch-Out. He still got it from when he was a little kid and having him sign that. I'm like, damn, that'd be pretty dope.
I've never played the game before. It's a little bit before my time.
I don't want a signature. I just want a picture. I want a picture with me and Mike Tyson standing there. I think that'd be great. Shout out to Brian in the chat. We're ending the show, but Brian from Legendary Wrestling Podcast, Legendary Wrestling Figure Podcast is in the chat right now. Always supporting, so thanks, Brian. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna buy any other meet and greets. Like, I'll just walk around WrestleCon and see what's popping. But I really think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna buy that Mike Tyson picture.
Hey, go for it, man.
It's Mike Tyson.
Cliche as it is. Yeah, as cliche as it is, you only live once. Like you said, it's Mike Tyson, a legend.
And when else are you gonna run into Mike Tyson? Like, I don't run the same circles Mike Tyson runs into. I ain't gonna ever be able to get a picture with him. So why not get it where I can get this in there? Soraya's gonna be there Thursday night. I'd love to see her in person. I ain't gonna take a picture with her, but I might walk by her table a couple times.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a good deal to me. Like you said, when you ever run into Mike Tyson, unless you're that one dude that was on the plane with him and he put the beats on dude.
I don't want to run to him that way. I want Big Mike. What up, champ? You know, you call Mike the champ when you're around him. You don't call him Mike. Hey, it's the champ.
Exactly. Dress him as properly.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's all I got right now planned for WrestleMania. Is just I got my itinerary as far as plane tickets and where I'm staying, and I am gonna go to WrestleCon a couple times. I may get Sting to sign something. I don't know yet. It's just I don't like taking shit with me on the plane, so to travel with something like that, maybe I'll wait till WrestleCade and I'll get him to sign something down there. And I'll just get a picture at WrestleMania. But yeah, EJ, so you are going to WrestleMania now. Here we go, boot to the face, taking over Vegas.
And one story didn't cover that I was trying to cover. It's like 4 weeks ago. So they said this is Sting's last year in the paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I talked about earlier. That's why I bought the picture this time, was because it's his last. It's probably one of the last times I see him with the face paint on. Man, he's just that man got so much money. He said, "I ain't doing this shit no more."
Still, man, still Sting, still a legend. Hate to see like an end of an era like that, but like you said, he doesn't have to do it anymore, and that's a lot of work. So, always shout out to Sting.
Yep. Well, EJ, let's get on up out of here. For EJ, I'm Rucker. Again, thanks for everybody for listening. Please go hit that sub button on YouTube. Check us out on all your audio platforms. And until next week, this has been Boot to the Face. Peace!